Hi everyone, welcome back to my AP Calculus class. Today I'll solve some practice exercise, a problem for definite integration. Let's just start. Number 1, integral -1 to 1 x squared minus x minus 1 dx. You know power, right? X to the nth power's integral dx. What was the formula? 1 over n plus 1 times x to the n plus 1 powers plus c. Any number's integral was what? That is kind of cx plus c, right? So we're going to use this. So what is x squared's integral? And is 2 by this formula, 1 over n plus 1 times x to the n plus 1 powers minus x minus, what is the x integral of x? It's the first power, so 1 over 1 plus 1 times x to the 1 plus 1. Then any numbers integral is just a number times x. So it is 1/3 x cubed minus 1 over 2 x squared minus x from -1 to 1. Plug in top number. We plug in top number 1/3 minus 1 over 2 minus 1 minus plug in -1 bottom number -1/3 minus 1/2 plus 1. So -1/2 -1 cancel out. And then now 1/3 minus -1/3 is 2/3. Minus 1 minus 1 minus 2. So it is -4 over 3. This is the final answer. C is the answer. Number 2. Integral 1 to 2 3x minus 1 over x 3x dx. In this case, you can separate this fraction into two fractions, looks like 3x over 3x, which is 1 minus 1 over 3x. That makes sense, right? And then find each term's integration. Integral of 1 is x minus, what about this part? The 1/3 is just coefficient, right? And then 1 over x means x to negative first power, so you cannot use power. Because 1 over n plus 1, the n plus 1 part, -1 plus 1 will be 0. So 1 over 0 is undefined. You cannot use it. So what should we use? 1 over x integral of 1 dx equals what? ln absolute value of x plus c, right? You can use ln. So 1/3 is coefficient. The ln absolute value of x from 1 to 2. Plug in 2 first, because there is top number first. ln 2. Plug in 1 minus 1/3 ln 1. ln 1 is 0. So what is left? 2 minus 1 is 1. Then minus 1/3 ln 2. So B is the answer. Let's go number 3. Integral 0 to 3. I rewrite like that. 1 over square root of 4 minus t dt. I'll use substitution. Which part gonna be u part? This part. So 4 minus t part is u. And change that all t function to u function. Integral 1 over root u. Change dt to du. -1 dt equals 1 du. So dt is -1 du. So -1 du. Okay, now negative is front. And then how can you find that this part's integral? This is u to the -1 over 2 powers, right? By power rule, 1 over n plus 1 times u to the n plus 1 powers. So this part is 1 over 1 over 2. That's 2. And then this part is what? U to the 1/2 powers. That means square root to u. From 0 to 3? No. I change t function to u function. If t is 0, u part is 4. If t is 3, u part is 1. So 4 to 1. Plug in top number negative 2 minus plug in bottom number, negative 2 root 4. It is negative 2 plus 4, which is 2. So E is the answer. Number 4. Number 4 is this. Integral negative 1 to 0, square root of 3u plus 4 du. It is another u substitution. Let the 3u plus 4 is u substitution, but u part already has u. So I let that part large u, and then I change this function to large u function. Square root to large u, then I can change the u to large du. So it is 1 over derivative of u part times d large u. And then you have to change these two number, large u values. If small u value is negative 1, that large u value is 1. If small u is 0, large u is 4. So integral 1 to 4, 1/3 is just coefficient, right? Then u to the 1 over 2 power. Square root of u means u to the 1/2 power du, right? So 1/3 is still there, and they're gonna find that u to the 1/2 power. Use power 1 over n plus 1 times u to the n plus 1. So it's a 2 over 3. This part 2 over 3, and then u to the 3 over 2 power from 1 to 4. So plug in top number. This one is 2 over 9 times 4 to the 3 over 2 powers minus 2 over 9, 1 to the 3 over 2 powers. This part is 2 square, right? So 2 squares, 3 over 2 power, power of power. So multiply those 2 powers, 2 cube, 8. 2 times 8 is 16, so 16 over 9, minus 1 to the any power is 1, so 2 over 9, which is 14 over 9. So B is the answer. Number 5. Integral 2 to 3, 1 over 2y minus 3 dy. This is another u substitution. Which part is u? The bottom part, right? Definitely bottom part. 2y minus 3 part is going to be u. So change it like this. Integral 1 over u, and then change dy to du. How to? 1 over derivative of u part, which is 2 in this case, times du. Change this number u values, right? If y is 2, and then u is 1. If y is 3, and then u is 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then 1/2 is 1 coefficient. What is the integral 1 over u du? ln absolute value of u from 1 to 3. Plug in top number, 1 over 2 ln 3, minus plug in bottom number, 1/2 ln 1. ln 1 is 0, so what is left? So 1 over 2 times ln 3 is left. So B is the answer. Number 6. Number 6, integral 0 to root 3 x over square root 4 minus x squared dx. This is not arctangent or arcsine problems because there is x, not number. If a number over square root 4 minus x squared dx, that is arcsine problem. But this is u substitution problem because if you let 4 minus x squared part u part, the derivative of u part is negative 2x. So 1 over negative 2x du, right? That is dx. So this x in the numerator will be cancelled out, right? So let me show how to do that. The integral x over square root to what? U, right? Because I left 4 minus x squared part is going to be u. And then change the dx to du, how to? 1 over derivative of u part, which is negative 2x du. And then this x and this x cancel out. And then change those two numbers u values, right? If x equals 0, u value is 4. What if x equals root 3? 4 minus root 3 squared. That's 1. I'm going to change this like this. I'm going to switch this upper limit and lower limit. Okay, it's 1 to 4. If you change it, put the negative sign in front. Okay, and then negative 1/2 1 over root u du. Negative 1/2 coefficient can go to front. So negative 1/2 is positive 1/2. Integral 1 over root u. That's u to the negative 1/2 powers, right? du. So 1 over 2 times 1 power, right? 1 over that part. 1 over n plus 1 times u to the n plus 1. This part is going to be 2. And then times u to the 1/2 powers. So this is 1. This part root 2u. From which two number supposed to be here? 1 to 4, right? 1 to 4. So 1 to 4. Plug in 4 first. Root 2 4, which is 2. Minus root 2 1. It's 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So A is the answer. Number 7. Number 7, another u substitution. Definitely 2t minus 1, that part gonna be u. Then change this to u function. So u cube times 1 over derivative of u part, that's 2, du, and then change those two numbers, u values. If t is 0, u is negative 1. If t is 1, u is 1. So it is 1/2 integral negative 1 to 1 u cubed du. This is 0. You don't have to find anything. It is 0. Why? Because the u cubed, that is odd function. So integral negative a to a fx dx equal to 0 if fx is odd function. Why? Odd function means all exponent is odd numbers. Odd function is already symmetric about the origin, like u cube function to the x cube function kind of. The graph looks like this, right? So negative a to a. It is symmetric about the origin. So this area and this area is actually same area, but this area is kind of negative area. Integration value of that graph, if the graph is under the x-axis, that value gonna be, that answer gonna be negative number, right? And if the graph is above the x-axis, integral value is positive. Okay, so plus minus is gonna be 0 because it is symmetric about the origin. Exactly same area with a different sign. That's why that is always 0. So integral negative 1 to 1, odd function du. That should be 0. That's why answer is 0. If you actually found the integral and the plug in top number and bottom number, calculate it. That will be 0 anyway. Okay, next. Number 8. Integral 4 to 9. 2 plus x over 2 root x dx. I told you this fraction has only one term in the denominator. In this case, separated. So integral 4 to 9, 2 over 2 root x, that's 1 over root x. And then plus x over 2 root x, that is root x over 2. And then dx. So integral 4 to 9, it is not u substitution just to find the integral of each term. The first term is x to the negative 1/2 powers plus 1/2 times x to the 1/2 powers dx. Just use power. So 4 to 9, same thing. Use 1 over n plus 1 times n plus 1. So 1 over 1/2, 2 times 1/2 powers root 2x, 2 root 2x, right? I'm finding integral now. First part, 1 over n plus 1 times x to the n plus 1 plus 1 over 2, this coefficient, 1 over n is 1/2 plus 1 times x to the n plus 1 from 4 to 9. This part 2 root x, and then this part is what? 1 over, this part 1 over 2 times 1 over 3 over 2, 2/3, right? So 1/3. 1/3 x to the 3 over 2 powers. Plug in top number 9 first. 2 root 9, 6 plus 1/3 times 9, 3 over 2 powers. 9 is 3 square, so it is 27 over 3. Minus plug in 4. 2 root 4, that's 4. Plus 1/3 times 2 square, so 2 to cancel out. 2 cube 8, 8 over 3. That part is 8 over 3. 6 minus 4 is 2, plus 27 minus 8 is 19 over 3. So 25 over 3 is the answer. A is the answer. It is not use substitution. Okay, you just separate the fraction into two fractions because it has only one denominator. Okay, number 9. Integral -3 to 3 and even function is all power or exponent even number, right? So what is the formula? You remember that integral -8 to a odd function dx, that was 0, but integral -8 to a even function, that is 2 times integral 0 to a, that even function dx. Because even functions symmetric about y-axis, left side and right side have same area. So just 2 times one side area. That will be easier. So I'm going to change this to a little. 2 times integral 0 to 3 because it's -8 to a form. Okay, 1 over 9 plus x squared dx. Do you remember arctangent integral, right? I mean, derivative of arctangent. And then what is 1 over a squared plus x squared integral dx? That is arctangent, tangent inverse. Tangent inverse x over a, and then coefficient is 1 over a times plus c. 1 over a times tangent inverse x over a plus c. That is exactly this form, right? Exactly a squared plus x squared form. Then 9 is a squared. So a is 3. By that formula, 2 times tangent inverse x over 3. And then 1 over 3 from 0 to 3. If x equals 3, this part 2/3 tangent inverse. 3 over 3 is 1. Minus 2/3 tangent inverse 0. Tangent 0 is 0, so tangent inverse 0 is 0. Tangent of tangent pi over 4, tangent pi over 4. That means tangent 45 degree, right? That is 1. That's a tangent inverse of 1 is what? Pi over 4. Pi over 4. Because tangent pi over 4 is 1. That's why tangent inverse of 1 is pi over 4. So pi over 6 is the answer. That means C is the answer. Last problem today, number 10. I solved 10 problem today, and then in the next video, I keep solving from the number 11. Number 10, integral 0 to 1 e to the negative x dx is kind of u substitution. Let negative x part is u. So integral e to the u powers, right? E to the u powers. And then 1 over derivative of u parts, just -1 du. And then change these two numbers, u values. If x equals 0, u is 0. If x equals 1, u is -1. So I'm going to switch these two numbers, right? Because smaller numbers bottom, bigger number is usually top. If you switch those two numbers, put a negative sign in front, right? But negative 1 is already here. Negative, negative, positive. E to the u, du. So, e to the u integral is just a to the u from negative 1 to 0. Plug in 0 first. E to the 0 powers minus e to the negative 1 powers. 1 minus 1 over e. So 1 minus 1 over e. Where is that? D is the answer. D is the answer. Okay, I'm done today. I solved the 10 exercise problem for definite integration. Thank you so much for watching my video, and then please click subscribe and like and turn on notification. I keep posting, okay, good videos, okay? I'm gonna try to make better video. Anyway, thank you. Bye-bye.